Whoops.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lords of the Night. With me, as always, your Lord of Punishment. Say hello, Scribe.
Hello, Scribe.
Your Lord of Pennies is here as well. Say hello, Satsu.
What up, bitches?
I am your Lord of Pain, and holy fuck, is that a good name today? The Ranting Monkey. How is everybody? I went swimming today, y'all, so it's going to be one of those nights. Woo, doggy. Satsu, how you doing, man?
Pretty good. Squishy had the day off, so I hung out with her. I got my video uploaded, like I said I was going to do. We recorded about 4 to 5 videos today, and I just hung out with her.
All righty. And Scribbles, how you doing, man?
Doing pretty good. Had a whirlwind visit with my folks. I went out to breakfast, and I got to ride on my parents' electric bicycle, which is their new pride and joy, I guess, and run around. And they gave me some souvenirs they picked up while they were in Europe. So now I have a T-shirt from Amsterdam, and what was the other thing? There was something else. Oh yeah, a little cat figurine they got me while they were in Hamburg, I think, something like that. So little weird things, yeah.
Did your parents go to Amsterdam to get high?
No, my dad told a story about how when they were in Amsterdam, they'd been to Amsterdam several years ago, and he said that changes there, from his perspective, it was completely different, not nearly as lively or something as he said. But they were there in the morning one day, and they went up to some guy and asked him, "Hey, can you direct us to the red light district?" And he looks at my dad and says, "Why the hell would you want to go there? They're all asleep. There's no girls there now." He's like, "Well, yeah, I know. I just wanted to go there and try to find a souvenir or something." Like, oh, okay. So yeah, that's funny.
I just want to find a herpes scab to take home.
Yeah.
Real quick before we started, tall person, thank you so much. Says it, meh, I'm not feeling it today. Whatever it is, have some money and happy National French Fry Day. Thank you so much. And from Cryptic, fuck my state, and I hope all these recalls succeed and turn my state back purple instead of liberal retards.
Okay.
Are there a lot of recalls going on in Colorado?
Total Recall?
Total recall. Sounds what he's asking for. Yeah, as I said, guys, I went for the next couple of weeks. My nights are going to be rough. I'm going to do my best to not sound like I'm dying, but I feel like I am. Went and spent about 20 minutes in the pool today, and yeah, my body's like, fuck you, Frank, but I need the exercise, so I'm going to keep doing it because that's what needs done. Guys, don't forget to join us after this over on 2 Cents Plus for some zombie slaying action. You know, slay zombies like I slayed a puss. Anything else we need to do before we get into news and the opening?
No.
Nah, bruh.
All right. Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies, video games. Hit that like button, y'all, and share our stuff because YouTube doesn't do it. They're buttholes about that. Scribbles, I'm starting to get the feeling you don't trust me in Satsu. What is that?
I don't know. I've been hearing it for a while now.
Motorcycles racing off in the freeway.
Nice. Scribe doesn't trust us, y'all. He's like, I'm not going to be there tomorrow. And then he's like, I got to get home before those two morons do it by themselves.
Yes, that was my thinking.
I feel like that's what it was.
So it wasn't about being overcautious when these things happen, and I can't tell the timing of certain things given the trip that I have to make with my sister there and back again. So, no, yeah.
No, that's fair enough. No, we like to play the victim part. I think that's a better story.
Okay, CNN, thanks.
Scribbles just doesn't trust us. He's here to make sure we don't screw things up.
That's why I'm here, everyone. The C team is here to save the day.
That's right. It is. It's true. Scribbles, we got news today?
We do. Apparently, New York has been plunged into darkness.
What?
Manhattan power outages are crippling subway service and causing traffic problems. And you know, everybody, if you can't get your sandwich on time, you know you're not in New York anymore. That was the subway joke. Tens of thousands of people were without power in Manhattan on Saturday evening, Con Edison said. Of the 42,000 customers without power in New York, most of them were in Midtown Manhattan and the Upper West Side. The city's fire department was responding to numerous transformer fires, the first of which occurred in Manhattan on West 64th Street and West End Avenue. The outage was having a widespread effect, with the New York subway system also experiencing power outages in its stations. Quote, "We're working to identify causes and keep trains moving," the Metropolitan Transportation Authority tweeted. The outages were affecting, quote, "multiple lines," the MTA said. It told one Twitter user there were extensive delays on many lines. The lack of power was a major issue on the streets and in buildings, too. A CNN producer on the Upper West Side said she was at a movie when the theater went dark at about 7 p.m. He went outside and saw traffic and street lights were out. Traffic was jamming up at intersections, but it wasn't gridlocked. The mayor has since tweeted out a update to say that it was mechanical problems that caused this, although he didn't get too specific. Let's see if there's anything more specific than that.
While you're looking, John Migda, thank you so much, who says, "Yay, C team," and Scribbles. There's a whole bunch of people who said they wouldn't trust the two of us either. So,
oh, that's so insulting to my co-hosts. Thanks, guys. Let's see. This is simply a mechanical problem, the mayor says. Really? Really? A power outage is a mechanical problem?
what? As opposed to what? A magical problem?
I suppose as opposed to like an intentional act or maybe like a terrorist act or something. I guess that's
okay. I guess.
That's the distinction. Yeah, I can see that making the distinction. Quote, "This appears to be something that just went wrong in the way that they transmit power from one part of the city to another," he said. "It sounds like it is addressable in a reasonable amount of time." Okay. So he said he didn't think outside interests played a hand in the outage. Okay. So he says as of right now, it's just an accident or just a mistake. So not an intentional act or something. Okay. So yeah. And there's people like, doing live streaming of the completely pitch black or otherwise darkened Times Square.
That's so silly. We're filming the darkness. Shut up.
The darkness.
I'm an influencer. Look, it's dark.
I'm gonna cry and I'm an influencer. Oh
God.
Let's see. Yeah, and there's footage of people filming the lack of power. That's great. Not much more to say. It's still, as far as I know, still blacked out there, and they're working to fix it. So if you happen to be in New York listening to us and you're not in Times Square, that's why you're able to listen to us, probably. Other than that, there are other stories. Kind of a potpourri day, though. So which one of you wants to be the Vanna White?
I did it last time.
I'll do it now.
Okay. Your categories are Fallout, the British, Ice, and Scarlett Johansson.
We're going to save Scarlett for last. I'm just going to tell you that because we're going to get into that one. Let's start with the British.
The British. Hello, governor.
Hello,
British. This is how I say hello, governor. British. And just say it all
British.
British. British.
I like my toast with some beans on it.
Now
Cryptic, thank you. The flag idiots are from my state, and the Dumbos here are in charge and empowering them. Oh, okay.
I was just going to say, if Irate Bay were here, he's probably having his ears bleed out. Amongst other people in the chat, apparently. Like, Bands Freak does not like us doing this. Okay. Well, all right, I'll stop. Because you asked.
Because I talk better than they do.
Crikey! Anyway, leaked cables show British ambassador saying Trump abandoned the Iran deal in act of, quote, diplomatic vandalism to spite Obama. Kim Darroch, however you say that, the former United Kingdom ambassador to the United States, said the Trump administration was, quote, set upon an act of diplomatic vandalism, unquote, in its decision to abandon the Iran nuclear deal, the Daily Mail reported Saturday, citing leaked cables. The report comes following news last week that Darroch sent diplomatic cables describing President Donald Trump as inept, insecure, and incompetent. Darroch has since resigned. According to the Daily Mail Saturday, the former ambassador said Trump seemed to be discarding the Iran nuclear deal for personality reasons, unquote, as the deal had been agreed to by former President Barack Obama. The paper also reported that Darroch hinted at discord brewing between Trump's closest aides and said the White House had failed to produce a, quote, day-after plan on how to handle the aftermath of withdrawing from the deal. CNN has not seen the leaked cables and cannot confirm their contents. But we're more than willing to rumor monger.
Well, isn't this the stuff that John Cleese has been losing his shit over for a week?
I don't know.
Excuse me. Over on Twitter, John Cleese has been arguing with a lot of people over these leaked ambassador notes or whatever the hell they were.
Mm-hmm.
And it certainly sounds like them.
Well, what has he been arguing? I don't even know what the context is.
His argument is that Trump's kind of a douche and that the ambassador was okay to be talking about this. The problem wasn't that the ambassador said this, but the problem was that somebody leaked it.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Certainly, if no one had found out about this, no one would know and no one would care.
As long as no one knows and nobody can care.
Well, it's the same thing we were talking about last night with AOC airing the dirty laundry of the Dems out in public rather than doing it behind closed doors. You know, there's the appearance of professionalism on the outside that has to be maintained in order to retain, you know, the pressure of the optics of keeping things in line. But then, of course, when you start showing that you're not playing along and everybody knows you're not playing along, then you become a liability. Because then why would you want to deal with somebody who has been, even if Darroch did, like, I don't think this ambassador guy leaked the cables himself, but he's been exposed, his dirty laundry's out there, he's no longer credible either in public or in private, so he's out. That's just, I mean, regardless of what had been said or otherwise, if anything disparaging about Trump came out from anybody who was supposed to be like a diplomat, or any other world leader for that matter, if the U.S. diplomat to Germany came out and said that, you know, Angela Merkel is a moron, that guy'd be out the door real quick too. This isn't that surprising.
No, yeah, it sounds like somebody wanted him out anyway, and they're like, oh yeah,
could be.
Thank you for this one. Sinatra says, fuck you, monkey. This is Lords of the Night, not an Uncle Cracker concert. Thank you for understanding the song. I love that song. That's Follow Me, by the way. Anyhow, fuck that guy. I don't know if I did that very well. Fuck him right in the butt.
Crikey.
Right in his bum.
All right. Well, your remaining categories are Fallout, Ice, and Scarlett Johansson.
Let's do Fallout first.
Fallout. Over offensive Buttigieg article. Magazine's owner apologizes, but a sponsor cuts ties.
I saw this, and I got to say, I don't know if you've read it yet. I'm very confused by it. So maybe as we go along, you can explain it to me. But first, Diesel Dave, thank you so much. Who says, "What's up, fuckers?" Not much, Dave. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I haven't read the news at all today. I've been off with my folks, so this is the first that I'm seeing any news today, really. So. Let's see. The League of Conservation Voters, okay, never heard of them, is cutting ties with an upcoming forum on climate change after its co-host for the event, The New Republic, published an, quote, offensive, unquote, article about Democratic presidential candidate Pete Buttigieg. Gene Karpinski, LCV's president, said in a statement Saturday that the piece about Buttigieg and the New Republic's decision to run it are, quote, inconsistent with our values, unquote. LCV, a high-profile environmental group that has spent years lobbying for tougher action on climate change, had signed on to co-host a 240-minute discussion about the issue for the current presidential candidates at a forum in September. Media site Gizmodo is set to co-host the event with the New Republic. Oh, yes, Gizmodo. They of the IO9 and all the other blogs we tend to pay attention to. Quote, LCV is withdrawing our participation in the presidential primary candidate climate forum previously announced in New York City on September 23rd, the statement says. We will remain focused on the important work of elevating the climate crisis in this election and encouraging all the candidates to be prioritizing solutions, unquote. Okay, here's where we get to the issue, I guess. The New Republic published a piece on Friday titled My Mayor Pete Problem that was quickly criticized on social media as homophobic and derogatory. Okay. It was written by Dale Peck. Whenever I see that last name, I can't help but think of Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like Peck. An author and literary critic with a history of controversy. He, like Buttigieg, is gay. Okay. Peck referred to Buttigieg as Mary Pete, M-A-R-Y, Pete, throughout the column and suggested he didn't want Buttigieg in the White House because he would be sexually promiscuous. Hasn't he been with the same guy for like years?
Yeah, he's married.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean you're not promiscuous, but
Sure.
anyway. Editor Chris Lehman told CNN Business on Friday that, quote, the New Republic recognizes that this post crossed a line, and while it was largely intended as satire, it was inappropriate and invasive. The post was later taken down. On Saturday, the media outlet's owner and editor-in-chief said the opinion piece should not have appeared on the website. It's an opinion. Okay, anyway, quote, as the New Republic's owner, I want to extend our sincerest apologies to Mayor Buttigieg, as well as to our readers for an article that was both inappropriate, and offensive. It has been removed from our site. Wrote Win McCormick. His first name is Win, W-I-N, Win McCormick. I guess he's always winning.
Yeah.
Quote, yesterday we made a mistake, but we remain committed to honoring the tradition of high standards and journalistic integrity that have been the hallmark of the New Republic for more than 100 years, McCormick said. Then why are you censoring that guy?
Well, see, that's the part I don't get. And it was satire, and they seem to admit that was satire.
I mean, don't they usually give the caveat with opinion pieces that, you know, the views expressed in this piece are reflective of the author and not the, you know, the publication, that kind of thing?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, but it's current year now, bros.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't really understand the logic behind that, but okay. I mean, obviously the New Republic editors didn't have a problem with it in the first pass, so I don't understand how there's suddenly it's inappropriate and should not have been gone up.
I wonder if that particular saying is going to be changed to like the views of anybody who you air on your show for any reason does coexist with your company's values, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, I suppose. Let's see. Anyway, so that happened. And your final, since you're saving Scarlett Johansson for the end, I'll just read this one. Man accused of hurling incendiary devices at Washington ICE facility is fatally shot by police.
Oops.
An armed man was fatally shot early Saturday during a confrontation with police after he hurled incendiary devices at a Washington State, I thought it was Washington, D.C., Washington State Immigration Detention Center, Tacoma police said. The shooting occurred around 4 a.m. local time outside the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement's Northwest Detention Center, where the man attempted to set the building and parked cars on fire, according to police spokeswoman Loretta Cool. That is a great cop name. Hell, that should be like a Shaft clone movie. Loretta Cool.
Officer Cool.
Officer Cool. Authorities did not immediately identify the man who was armed with a rifle, saying in a statement that the, quote, medical examiner will release the identity of the victim when it's appropriate. It was not known whether the man fired at officers, Cool said. Authorities are examining footage from surveillance cameras at the detention center as part of the investigation. The assault on the privately run immigration detention facility came amid protests over ICE plans to begin the previously postponed raids across the country on Sunday. The goal is the arrest of thousands of migrant families who already have court orders to be removed, according to U.S. officials. A peaceful rally against the raids at the Tacoma Detention Center had ended about 6 hours before the shooting. The immigration enforcement action has sparked protests in nearly a dozen American cities, drawn criticism from mayors and immigrant rights activists, and unleashed waves of fear among undocumented immigrants across the country. That's
fuck off.
The point. I don't know what to tell you.
Diesel Dave, thank you, says, blank me, bitch.
What?
I think he was going for something like blank me, bitch, or block me, bitch. I'm not sure which.
Block me, bitch. The gunman The gunman died at the scene. 4 officers involved in the shooting were placed on administrative leave per department policy. The incident is under investigation. This weekend, ICE is moving forward with an operation targeting migrants with court-ordered removals that was previously called off in June. So there you go.
Well, Trump warned them. Get to the table or I'm going to go ahead and do these. And look at the fear that has been instilled in these people to the point they're going to start burning shit. If he did what he's accused of, I mean, I'm not happy anybody's dead, but I'm happy nobody else died because of his stupid shit.
He's trying to arson the place up. Jesus.
Yeah. Before we get to your last story, I want to do our headline story here. Because you didn't have that one in your repertoire, so I'm gonna bring it up real fast. Protesters remove U.S. flag, replace it with Mexican flag outside ICE facility in Aurora.
Yeah, I saw that. My first question was, now why? Why would you want to do that?
Well, it wasn't the first time I saw it. It was just the Mexican flag that they did, but they also did something else. Hundreds of protesters gathered in Aurora on Friday evening to march to the ICE detention facility where illegals and undocumented migrants are being housed. They also removed the U.S. flag, replaced it with a Mexican flag, and spray painted graffiti on a Blue Lives Matter flag before it was seen flying upside down on the flagpole. So yeah, they raised a Blue Lives Matter one that said outlaw ISIS or ICE, I believe is what it said. Not ISIS. They don't care about that. Yeah. I just wanted to comment on this real quickly because the fuck are you doing? Even if you don't believe in what you're seeing at these places, why are you raising a Mexican flag? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yes, we are anti-police, anti-American, and also anti-law. So, like, oh, that's good to know.
You can't tell me you're not anti-American when you're raising a Mexican flag on United States soil like that. Cryptic, thank you. Deport these motherfuckers too, American or not. Well, I don't know about American, but electrify the flagpole wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah, we'll take responsibility for our own stupid people, but I ain't about to take no shit from no dumbasses that don't belong here.
The weird part was the video that I saw of this. Those look like a bunch of honky motherfuckers. They didn't look like they came from below the border at all. Just throwing that out there.
That's what it usually is, though.
Cryptic, thank you. The flag idiots are from my state, and the Dumbos are here in charge and empowering them. Wait, didn't I already read that one?
Yeah, you read that one earlier, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. It popped up with another alert. Sir Wolfgang, thank you. It's almost as if they hate our country. Really makes you think. I know, right? Even, I'd be annoyed if they took the U.S. flag down, but raising a Mexican flag in its place, are you serious? Go fuck yourselves. Yes. Sorry, Scribbles.
We're going to raise the flag of the place we're escaping from, because the place that we want to get away from is somebody explain that logic to me. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, Jim says, so these idiots claim territory in the name of Mexico. Basically, I don't know if you guys have ever heard about the way people are treated in Mexican prisons and such, but I think we should send these little white boys down there and let them see.
I just saw a video on what they do to people who fucking break their immigration laws.
Oh, that spanking one?
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. There's a video out there. These three. It's purported to be Mexican immigration people who catch somebody crossing their border, and they pull his pants down and beat his ass with like a 2x4, and I mean spank him with it hard. It was hard to watch actually. It's on Twitter if you guys want to find it. So Scribbles, that leaves us with Scarlett Johansson.
I suppose so. Scarlett Johansson details her.
Hold that thought. I had asked a couple of people to come hang out with us when I didn't think you were going to be here, and one of them has finally arrived. Polydub, how are you, sir?
I am doing well. How are you, gentlemen?
We are good.
You interrupted me, Polly.
I'm sorry, Scribe.
Are you?
I am. I'm engraving a letter as we speak to send off to you to apologize.
Well, that's the least you could do.
So, Scarlett Johansson.
Is that what we're talking about?
We're just getting into that.
Are we?
Yes,
All right.
yes, we are.
Scarlett Johansson details her top roles and the political correctness she has faced when selecting parts. I can think of two off the top of my head. Scarlett Johansson is a busy and in-demand actress, but with many projects in the works, the Avengers Endgame actress, she's done other things, is detailing some of her favorite roles, as she explained in the new issue of As If magazine. There's a magazine called As If. Okay. What the fuck do I know? Johansson's latest role, next to Adam Driver in the untitled Noah Baumbach film, is something she's proud of, but noted it's particularly, unquote, quote unquote, exhausting. Quote, I did a job with Adam Driver recently, which is coming out later this year, she said. We spent 2 entire days screaming at each other, brutally screaming and fighting for 2 full days. It was exhausting. But if I didn't have as strong an actor as Adam to take all stuff I was giving him, I'm reading this, it's written, I would have been lost. For me, working with other actors is a really important part of what I do. It's everything. Well, I would hope it's at least part of what you do.
It's your fucking job.
Unless you're doing like solo performances or one-woman shows, you kind of have to.
Okay, real quick. Cryptic, thank you. Says, so Polly can show up for Lords of the Night, but not GPP. Jerk. And Diesel Dave says, I'm drunk, but fuck these fucks. And then he says, Polly. There you go. Sorry.
I'm never going to live that down, am I?
You're not.
I know.
But 2003's Lost in Translation stands out as a favorite. It does to me, too, because like the first shot of the movie is you looking at her panty butt.
You're right, but it was also an excellent movie, Scribe.
That too. Honest. No, it was a really good movie. And it was much better job for Sofia Coppola than being in Godfather 3.
Okay, hold on.
Uh-oh.
Godfather 3 is misunderstood. But it wasn't an excellent directorial job.
No. Look. Sofia Coppola in Godfather 3. I'm not going to comment on the movie. Sofia Coppola in Godfather 3 was horrible. As a director, at least Lost in Translation, she did fine.
Oh, she did excellent as a director. There's no question about that.
That is the contrast I was making.
But you said as compared to her acting job in Godfather 3, and that's part of. And that's I'm saying. Well, no, okay, that's fine. That's your.
There's
opinion.
nothing misunderstood about her horrible acting in Godfather 3.
Well, apparently there is because you think it's horrible.
Have you seen this film? Have you seen her up against Andy Garcia?
Oh well. Half of all actors are going to look terrible up against my man Andy. Like, it's just the way it is. The guy's naturalistic as fuck. Her, on the other hand, is playing a young, innocent, unworldly, sheltered woman. The fact that she is not a skilled actor helps her play out that fish out of water innocence.
Even her intonation of basic language does not come across as a human being. It comes across as someone who's awkward in front of the camera.
She comes across as a befuddled young woman, which is exactly what she is. Her inexperience at acting lends to that.
She would look like a underscoring actress next to a can of Spam, dude.
Gentlemen. Couple of things. One, Cryptic says, catfight. Thank you so much. We have a birthday. And we can have this argument in just a little bit if you guys wouldn't mind. First, we have it is Nick Crawwell's birthday. But this leads us to a problem. Because on Monkey in the Morning, Polly fills your shoes there. So here's what I want to happen. Okay.
Fills them with what?
What he fills Satsu's shoes.
Oh,
Satsu Shabops?
No.
Oh.
But where you shabop, he always throws in something else.
Oh, okay.
So I want you two to still do what you both normally would do.
It's a little hard to harmonize when everyone else is singing with no tempo whatsoever.
Shh, just let it happen. So we're going to try to do this perfectly, and we're going to fuck it all up. But Nick, I hope you're listening. I hope you enjoy this because it's a rare crossover song just for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you.
Shabop.
Kill me now.
Happy birthday to you.
Shabab, shabab.
No, seriously, Death. Just come on.
Happy birthday, dear Nick.
Shabab, shabab.
I'm dead.
Happy birthday to you.
Sophia Coppola.
Shabab, shabab.
Nick, happy birthday, my friend. I
Happy
hope
birthday,
you
Nick.
had a good one. Holy fuck. Oh wow. So can let's
We were
finish
talking
with,
about Scribe's misunderstanding. Yes.
let's finish with Scarlet.
All right.
We gotta get the
Okay.
news done.
So she
Yeah.
says that Lost in Translation stands out as a favorite role of hers. Quote, people will say to me, that movie means everything to me. I was living that experience, Johansson explained. Quote, you see, I was 17 when I made that movie. Now I feel like I'm dirty. I was having my own experience that was very different to what the character I was playing was experiencing. The way audiences perceived my character was feeling and experiencing was, in actuality, very different from what I, the actor, was feeling and experiencing making the movie. I never assumed that my experience was something others could relate to because it was so specific to me and to where I was in my life. I can't begin to tell you how many people thought that film was about travel and being a stranger in a strange land. I'm always so amazed when I get those comments. To me, Lost in Translation was so specific to a young woman experiencing her loss of innocence, and her profound relationship with a stranger made the experience transformative. To me, the film was so much more about the relationship between my character and Bill Murray's character than being in a foreign land. The fact that she was in a place alien to her made it possible for her to get a perspective on her life that she wouldn't have had in her own familiar surroundings and being suffocated by the expectations of those around her. Okay. I'm going to get down to the part where it's relevant to this thing.
Sure. Hold on one second. Sir Wolfgang, thank you so much. Who says fight, fight, fight in a little bit. Go ahead.
Johansson also addressed the criticism she faced when she was set to play a trans-masculine male in Rub and Tug, which she later withdrew from, or her part in the popular Japanese manga film Ghost in the Shell. Mostly having stayed quiet surrounding the criticism, even though the author of this uses the word quite, not quiet, the actress said she doesn't like the, quote, political correctness that people are placing on her when picking her roles. Quote, you know, as an actor, I should be allowed to play any person, or any tree, or any animal, because that is my job and the requirements of my job, Johansson explained. Quote, I feel it's a trend in my business and it needs to happen for various social reasons, yet there are times it does get uncomfortable when it affects the art because I feel art should be free of restrictions, she added. Quote, I think society would be more connected if we just allowed others to have their own feelings and not expect everyone to feel the way we do, unquote. And that's the end of the article.
Yeah, this was kind of blowing up on the Twitter right before we went to air is when I first started seeing it go around. Everybody's like, oh, she's pushing back because she's actually saying actors should be allowed to act. Like, they should be. I mean, we've talked about this numerous times. I mean, Hamilton, anyone? Do we really have to point that out? But her playing
Heimdall, I don't know.
She's right. She's a fucking actress. She should be allowed to act, to play a part that isn't her. That's kind of their fucking job.
Dude, can you guess what a lot of the comments under that were?
Oh God, I don't even want to try.
The people claiming that that's just her job are missing the plot.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And I'm just like, that's literally her job. Like, okay, explain to me a time where she played herself in a movie. Like where her job description was like, you're you in this movie, and this is what you do. Like, how many people you know can say that they've either done that, or that's literally all they do? Like, I don't play anybody else in movies, just me, because I don't want to take away from anybody else's experiences. Like,
Diesel
nobody.
Dave, real quick, Diesel Dave, thank you. She was a bitch for not selecting that role. If you're talking about the one as the gay man, well, what is it, trans man? Yeah, she should have stayed with that role because that movie ended up getting shit canned, didn't it?
Well, yeah. without her involvement, it's basically been put on the back burner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something, Scribe.
Uh-oh.
You're someone else who really appreciates Lost in Translation. What do you think about her take on it there? At what point do you think what she was saying started to become intelligible?
When she started talking about the how the location of the character in an unfamiliar territory helped to remove the character from a place where those pressures mattered, and that focused on the relationship between her and the stranger.
I mean, I agree.
That was interesting because I hadn't really thought about it in those terms, but that does make a lot more sense from that, or it makes sense from that perspective. I mean, like any piece of art, you take away from it what you will. You know, once you put it out into the world, it's the observers to do with as they please, effectively, in how they interpret it. But from her perspective of it, on the one hand, she's saying, I was an actress acting. The character I was portraying was not necessarily a reflection of me, the person, because I was acting. But then she gets into the actual substance of the film and says, the stranger in the Strangeland thing is just a backdrop for setting aside these two characters sort of isolated with their language, lost in translation, in a world that doesn't really affect them the same way since they don't both belong there.
I mean, first of all, I was surprised that she could talk for as long as she did at the beginning, because the first 2/3 of that statement could just be like clipped.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that people think this thing that I wasn't thinking is an actress. There, one sentence, done. I was surprised as many people thought that film was about travel. Like, how superficially are you looking at a film when it's clearly, I didn't take it as being anything other than being about their relationship. That's the whole point. And they're both fish out of water there. They can't talk to anyone else, but here's the key: each other, even though she could talk to her husband that she's there with, but can't understand each other. They don't communicate. But she communicates with this stranger. Yeah, the whole film underscores it. It's even in the title, Lost in Translation. I'm just surprised. Jack Dunsky said something in chat that I thought was interesting. What the hell did he say to her at the end?
You got a couple of super chats, Monkey.
James Colley, thank you. Challenge accepted. ScarJo had to play herself in a robot's chicken sketch. And Diesel Dave, thank you, says, I am Lords of the Night, kiss my ass.
I am Lords of the Night, kiss my... Okay.
Yeah, I read it correctly.
Okay. Well, we could have more discussions later, but we're into MSS News Time.
Fair enough.
Yes. Guys, sorry, forgot it's my night. No, not questions, comments, concerns. If there's a story you'd like us to take a look at, hit us up at the hashtag MSS News over on the Twitter machine. We can't get to them all, but that's just because I don't even remember whose night it is.
I take it back. Monkey and Satsu wouldn't know what the fuck to do if I wasn't here.
Yeah, you are the glue that holds us together.
I am adhesive.
The really naggy glue.
The naggy glue.
But it's Super Scribe.
All right, this one comes from Quinn Harrison. Pearl Jam, Pearl spelled P-U-R-L. Finland hosts heavy metal knitting championship.
Oh, I heard about that.
Just as an aside, while I was visiting my parents, and my parents have satellite television with 1 million channels and such, and after we'd had breakfast and come back to hang out for a bit, my dad just, as he's wont to do, turned on the television, and he flipped to a sporting event that was taking place today. And I did not know that this existed, but apparently, and I'm not kidding, there is a professional cornholing league.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing.
I had no idea. Seeing 4 women toss, sandbags at the hole in the piece of wood and get points, and they got sponsorships and logos all over their shirts, and I'm like, is this real life? But yeah, anyway.
Real quick, thank you, Diesel Dave, who says, sorry, I'm drunk. That's all right, man.
So heavy metal knitting. Joensuu, Finland. Armed with needles and a yarn of wool, teams of avid knitters danced Thursday to the deafening sounds of drums beating and guitars slashing at the first ever Heavy Metal Knitting World Championship in eastern Finland. With stage names such as Wool Fumes, Bunny Bandit, and 9-Inch Needles, the participants shared a simple goal to showcase their knitting skills while dancing to heavy metal music in the most outlandish way possible. Quote, "It's ridiculous, but it's so much fun," said Heather McLaren, an engineering PhD student who traveled from Scotland for a shot at the world title. Quote, "When I saw there was a combination of heavy metal and knitting, I thought, that's my niche." That certainly is a niche. I'm not going to argue with you there. Not much more to say. There's pictures and some video. I'll put the link in the chat if people want to go take a look.
Why is that one dude dressed like a sumo wrestler?
Because sumo can be kind of heavy metal, I guess, depending. I don't know.
Is there heavy metal sumo?
It's got the heavy part down.
I guess so. Well played, sir. Well played.
This one comes from senior staff reporter and chief Florida correspondent Colleen Bernier. Florida woman arrested after stabbing boyfriend who was too tired for sex.
That's what you get, motherfucker.
And if I had her as a girlfriend, I think I would probably be always too tired for sex. That is a very
looking.
That is an unfortunate looking woman. A Florida woman who allegedly could not get sex from her boyfriend turned a blade on him. Jennifer Lee Chapman, 37, of Dunedin. I know we've seen this name before and people have corrected me. I don't know how to say it. A suburb of Tampa, was arrested Wednesday on felony aggravated battery charges. When the live-in boyfriend said he was too tired for sex, Chapman allegedly grabbed a serrated kitchen knife and cut her own arm. Police say the boyfriend tried to stop Chapman, resulting in a physical confrontation between the couple. Both hit the floor during the struggle, according to the complaint filed by the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. The report states that when the two briefly separated on the floor, Chapman grabbed the knife and cut her boyfriend multiple times in his arm and shoulder. The report further alleges that Chapman headbutted her boyfriend and punched him in the face. The victim was bleeding from stab wounds and showed injuries to his face. Chapman reportedly fled the scene on foot. Neither alcohol nor drugs played a role in the incident. That's probably even more disturbing. And there were no witnesses, according to the report. The incident occurred last Friday, but Chapman was not arrested until Wednesday. Let's see. In addition to these charges, Chapman could be in trouble for violating her probation. Last October, she was sentenced to 2 years probation after pleading guilty to illegally possessing crystal meth, marijuana, and Xanax. So there you go.
Did anybody else think that this could have been a story featuring Satsu if he hadn't have given it up?
I don't think so.
We should have just cut his ass. How many cuts do you have there, Satsu?
Don't worry about it. Squishy thinks for the future, though. She thinks ahead. she plots some other shit.
Oh, James, thank you. Says Satsu, let that be a lesson to you, right? Perfectly sober.
Apparently
this bitch stabbed her boyfriend repeatedly after cutting herself first.
Unless she was drunk on hormones.
Just because she wanted sex.
Mm-hmm.
I see what you're getting at there, Scribe.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. This one comes from Nitra Martin. I think I'm saying that correctly. Nitra. The Daily Mail. A line has been crossed. They need classes in free speech at police college, says Alan Rusbridger. I don't know who Alan Rusbridger is. What, you wonder, do they teach them in police college these days? Gangs, cybercrime, forensics, public safety, drugs? There's doubtless a lot to learn. But I would like to suggest a new and compulsory course. Let's call it The Basics of Free Speech. Lesson number 1. The police do not tell newspaper editors what to write. You think this is too basic? That in 21st century Britain, no police officer would dream of telling a newspaper editor not to publish information and meekly to hand back any leaked documents to their rightful owners? I could see the police asking a newspaper to withhold publishing stuff if it would endanger an investigation or a person's life. Yes. I could see that. Not necessarily means you have to abide by it, but I could certainly imagine such a scenario. But anyway, if you think that, then you haven't been paying attention. You evidently missed Friday's statements from one of the most senior officers in the, quote, advising owners, editors, publishers, along with anyone on social media, exactly what they shouldn't publish. Okay, and you evidently missed Mr. Basu, I don't know who these people are, doubling down last night with another statement saying it was his duty to prevent crime by warning editors off publishing material which could be classified as secret. What was Mr. Basu thinking? Well, it might be pertinent information that would interfere with an investigation and endanger people's lives.
Yeah, fuck that. My story is more important than some fucking life.
I feel like what he's saying is that they're not in America with the First Amendment.
Yeah. Does he really think it is the role of the police to start dictating what newspapers get to write about and to help identify sources by handing back leaked documents? Did no one teach him in police college that while journalists have never considered themselves above the law, it's not for the cops to tell an editor how or what to edit? Well, if they're trying to demand you to reveal your sources, then no, I don't think they have that right. But if they're asking you to withhold publishing certain information that may, like I say, risk the integrity of an investigation or put someone's life at risk or something, I don't think it's unreasonable, but I don't know the circumstances of this. This goes on. Yeah, sorry.
Again, we're talking about England here.
Yeah.
They don't have freedom of the press like we do.
Let's see if they give any. Let's see. The government did. Sorry.
Isn't that what the whole Tommy Robinson thing's about?
The government did not approve of newspapers publishing leaked material about the relationship between big tech and intelligence agencies. Quote, "You've published enough," Haywood purred. Haywood being the Sir Jeremy Haywood cabinet secretary. Okay. You don't need to publish anymore. There was a slight hint of menace in his voice as he added, "You are in the possession of stolen papers." I thanked him for his advice, but reminded him that it wasn't for the government of the day to tell a newspaper editor what was enough. In the end, we transferred our material to the U.S., where, thanks to Supreme Court judgments robustly defending the Constitution's First Amendment protection of free speech, it would be unthinkable for a U.S. administration to behave this way. Well, yeah, welcome to Britain, I guess, but sure.
Y'all should have copied our First Amendment. I've told you this many times. They never listen to me over there. Maybe I don't say it in the right accent.
Let's see. What's this? This
We need to have
one.
a big cartoon to teach them.
This one comes from Frosted Glass. And it's the Mary Sue.
Oh, goddamn.
Excuse me. A white woman asked Kirsten Gillibrand to explain white privilege, and Gillibrand delivered. Oh boy, I can't wait to hear this. Senator and presidential candidate Kirsten Gillibrand has been working her way through the Midwest, looking to target independent and swingable voters in what she dubbed her Trump Broken Promises tour. Yeah, make it all about Trump. You're totally going to win. Trump won a lot of voters in these battleground states by offering them quick fixes for economic anxiety. What's the rest of you guys doing?
Oh my God.
And the economy is doing good. You're not going to win on the economy, guys. Unless some drastic thing happens in the next 6 months, you're not going to win on the economy. Focus on international diplomacy and our relationship with our allies. You will win on that one every time. Anyway, he promised a lot of things, including opening more factories and bringing jobs back from overseas. He also focused hard on immigrants as a scapegoat for widespread job loss.
He did not promise to open more factories. He can't do that. He did say he'd bring jobs back.
Yes.
Which he's done.
One of the biggest questions when looking ahead to 2020 is how Democrats are going to try to appeal to the voters who fell for Trump's empty promises, because Bernie's are totally with, content, and are still suffering. Will Democratic candidates give their attention to those white working class voters that dominate Washington Post and New York Times op-ed pages? Or will they work to bring in young people, POC, which can't also be young people apparently, and other communities that have historically been ignored by political campaigns?
What?
Gillibrand gave just such an example of how to do both. At a roundtable event in Youngstown, Ohio this week, a white woman holding a baby, because that's relevant, asked Gillibrand about the term white privilege and other divisive language used by Democrats. Quote, now this is an area that across all demographics has been depressed because of the loss of its industry and the opioid crisis, she said. So what do you have to say to people in this area about so-called white privilege? Okay. Gillibrand's answer was stellar. All right. She managed to demonstrate the difference between having degrees of privilege and being quote unquote privileged, full stop, which can be a hard distinction for a lot of white people to grasp, especially those living in areas with widespread and even generational poverty. Yeah, that is a hard distinction. How did she cleave that hair? I'm curious. But there is a difference, and Gillibrand doesn't shy away from it. She offers compassion while saying flat out She offers compassion while saying flat out that there, no matter the hardships. I think you wanted to take out that word there. That no matter the hardships she and her family face, there are some that they simply will never have to deal with or even think about for no reason other than their skin color. Are you going to quote her? No.
They quote her, scroll down.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Okay. All of that, Gillibrand says, quote, is not acceptable, not okay. So no one in that circumstance is privileged on any level, but that's not what that conversation is about. What the conversation is about is when a community that has been left behind for generations because of the color of their skin, when you've been denied job after job after job because you're black or because you're brown, or when you go to the emergency room to have your baby. The fact that we have the highest maternal mortality rate, and if you are a black woman, you are 4 times more likely to die in childbirth because that healthcare provider doesn't believe you when you say, I don't feel right, because he doesn't value you, or because she doesn't value you. So institutional racism is real. It doesn't take away your pain or suffering. It's just a different issue. Your suffering is just as important as a black or brown person's suffering.
No, it's not. Not in 2019.
But to fix the problems that are happening in a black community, you need far more transformational efforts that targeted for real racism that exists every day, says Gillibrand.
Time out. Dear fucking Christ. No, what you're saying there, Jill, is that I don't have an excuse for being poor. The black people, they all got that excuse. They all got one because, they're black. Even though nobody can be denied a job right now for the color of their skin, you're bringing up. When was the last time you could deny somebody a job legally because of the color of their skin? The 60s?
Prior to 1964, technically, yeah.
So there, yeah. So, and how many years is that from now? 50? 55 years since then? No, what you're doing is you're playing up this nonsense bullshit identitarian crap. You're saying, look, poor white people, it still sucks to be you, but it's your fault. It's your fault. Now, the black people that are in the same situation, that's not their fault. And as for her bullshit, because I've gone over this shit, her bullshit about the mortality rate, there's a big problem with that. And actually, most of the research points to the fact that people are not going back for follow-ups and stuff. Not because doctors aren't believing them or listening to them. They're not going back like they're being told to do. This race baiting isn't going to get any better before this election, is it?
Nope.
It's
just literally the groundwork to a lot of these candidates, and then if they do win or whatever, once they come in office, or even if Trump wins or whatever, it's going to be the groundwork for quite some time. So strap in.
Gribbles, I think we're going to wrap up there because there's other stuff I do wants to get to.
Oh, I want to mention one real quick here. I'll just read the headline. Breaking: a former West Valley teacher who pleaded guilty to having a sexual relationship with a 13-year-old student has been sentenced to 20 years in
What's his
prison.
name?
It's a female.
Oh,
Her name is Brittany Zamora.
oh, Zamora. We know her. Why do I know her?
Yeah, Brittany Zamora. She, a former 6th grade teacher at Las Brisas Academy Elementary School in Goodyear, Arizona. She received international media attention in March 2018 after she was arrested for having a sexual relationship with an underage student. On July 12th, she was sentenced to 20 years in prison. So, goodbye. The prosecutors were asking for 27 years, but apparently the guy gave her the minimum max or something.
Yeah, we talked about her a lot on Monkey in the Morning because, yeah, that's a dirty bitch. Her husband actually went around doing damage control for her and begging the parents not to press charges.
Right.
Fucking douche. Oh, good. I'm glad they fucking threw her ass in jail. Because, yeah, I was sure she was going to just get a slap on the hand.
What a nutball. Yeah, goodbye. Anyway, I'm done.
All right, that's going to wrap up MSS News. Guys, thanks for the article. Sorry we didn't get to more tonight. We will catch up another time. We do appreciate all the submissions, but we got to get to the YouTube time. And Satsu, what'd you do?
I uploaded my steak and potato video over on my cooking channel, and that went well. Actually got a chance to spend time in the premiere, like a premiere that I set up for a change instead of setting up a premiere and fucking missing it. Outside of that, me and Squishy recorded about 4 videos today. I got maybe 2 to 3 more to record tomorrow. And other than that, just been chilling. We planned 7 days to die tonight. The giveaway was kind of awkward yesterday because the summer sale is over, so like nothing good is on sale. Like it's all just fucking random shit nobody's ever heard of. So it was we were trying our best to find something, but it was weird. So hopefully we'll have a better selection today. If not, we'll just have to finagle it like we always do. But yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Polly, what you been up to lately?
For YouTube stuff, continuing with the streams, and I've been working on like 4 different things at the same time, not getting close to completing any of them. I got to stop doing that. I got to focus on like one fucking video and finish it to completion instead of like tweaking 4 of them continually. I'll get around to it. Right now I'm doing the Spider-Man one that we were talking about. The countdown of where I rank order my favorite Spider-Man films and favorite Peter Parker actors.
You got to get the Spider-Man done.
Oh, Christopher Hammond.
Well, it's funny you bring him up.
Yeah, all right.
I actually went to perfectly legitimate sources and obtained a copy of the 1970s made-for-TV movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's something, all right.
It is. Oh man. I mean, he goes from Sound of Music to Peter Parker, and you don't even notice the difference.
Yeah, it's a very smooth transition. I did have to because I started thinking about it. There was like animated ones, and I had to cut animated out. That it was only live action Spider-Man. Period. Otherwise, because I wanted to throw Into the Spider-Verse in there, but then there was a whole bunch of like direct to DVD feature length movies, and it's like, why wouldn't I include them? That counts, doesn't it? And I'm like, nope, live action. It's the only way to make the list clean. So yeah, I'm sure like my countdown of the hottest women in the MCU, very few people are going to agree, but whatever, man. That's the whole point. Is to start a conversation, as AOC would say.
God.
I thought you were going to say, as Phil DeFranco would say.
So put your down in chat and make sure you say, what do you feel? And buy my cereal. Fucking guy.
Hey, I want my own cereal.
Monkey bits.
Monkey bits. Yeah, that's what everybody wants to eat. Monkey nuts. Yeah, you need to get that one done. And guys, if you haven't watched his hottest women of the MCU, go check it out because you will not agree and you'll have plenty to argue with him about.
Featuring Weibo Jones.
Has anybody agreed with you on that yet?
The closest that I've gotten is somebody saying I would have switched 1 and 6. Other than that, yep.
Oh, nice. That's not too bad.
The biggest disagreement, because it's the video's in 2 parts, right? Here's the women who didn't make the list at all. I made a list of like 19 ladies in the MCU that I could think of, not including Brie Larson, because Cheese Girl don't count. And Here's the woman who didn't make the list at all. And that's where I found the most disagreement. How could you not even include her in the top 10? What's wrong with you?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Told you, man, those kind of videos, you do a top 10 list, somebody's going to be pissed off at what you said.
Yeah.
And so, guys, check out his channel. That's still over there. Plus, he does the weekly comic book curations, which both me and Scribe have been a guest on. And you should go watch those because it's a lot of fun.
Scribe, did you know that your video guest spot on comic book curation has outviewed Monkey's?
That's some bullshit that needs fixed.
I did know that because I look at the two every day to make sure I'm still ahead.
Well, I look at them every now and then. Terry Diamandis, thank you. If it helps, I agree with Polly that it's featuring Weibo Jones. Yes. Yes.
Nice.
Let's see. I did a Monkey in the Morning where Polly and Jack were kind enough to run it for about an hour for me when I hit a fucking wall with pain. But we had a lot of good conversations on that one, plus some deep info from Polly and Jack about the whole Vic thing, because I don't know enough about it to talk, and it was nice that they could do it for a little while, because there's a lot of people who ask us about that, and I'm like, I just don't know enough to discuss it. So go check that out if you want some more information. Plus, check out Polly's streams because they discuss it. Also, I was on with Breakfast with Bear for about an hour this morning, and then we got back to the Twisted Tales of Alex Simeon over on the gaming channel, which is that fucking, I have so much fun doing that. It's so stupid. It is so stupid. It is nothing but me saying stupid shit while I have my sim try to bang everything in sight, and it's a lot of fun. So check those out. That is my, when it comes to things I'm doing, it's my lowest priority. So I haven't done one in almost a week, I think it is. But it was nice to get back there and play in that world again. Scribbles, what you been up to?
Nothing, because I was not at home today all day. But I do want to plug Tailed Features' latest video, where he takes on a subject that he was the first one to introduce most of us to a couple of years ago now, and that is Queer Kid Stuff. Lindsay from Queer Kid Stuff did a TEDx talk recently. Someone suggested it to me to do, and I was like, oh no. No, I can't do this justice the way that Tailed could, because he's been on this for years now. So I do want to at least plug the fact that the title of his video is the one I suggested, which is hashtag save TED E, because it's TEDx. And but yeah, he does a really great job. The little opening bit he filmed as a teaser for it yesterday or the day before is excellent and funny. And yeah, it's only about 17, 18 minutes long. So I suggest anybody who likes my kind of stuff, go take a look at Tailed stuff. And also congratulations to Tailed for having, I think, his first video go to 100,000 views. Nice. It was his metal song for, like, metal theme song for Count Dankula.
Nice.
Gotcha.
So there you go. That's all I had.
Let's see. That brings us to the Humpetry time. Satsu stepped away for a moment. Scribbles, did you have any Humpetry today?
Not really. Like I said, I was away from home all day, so I didn't have a chance to really snark on anything.
Polly, you got some Humpetry?
Humpetry?
Yeah, I try not to say the F word anymore, so it became Humpetry for a while.
Kind of thing.
Even though you failed at that already today, but whatever.
Just let it happen.
No, I got some five-a-tree. I've been reading off on the oh, Jesus. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, one of the guys in the Vic Mignogna ongoing Dragon Ball Z voice actor case against him, he got Me Too'd in a huge way, is the short version of it. Now he's suing the people for interference with his contracts, getting him fired, and defamation. And that's basically the short version of everything that's going on. One of the guys we were talking about last night on Monkey in the Morning got deposed, and he was such a whiny little greasy weasel rat during the whole thing. It was a video deposition, so you get to watch this guy be a little snaky fuck. And it's, wow, this guy is the one who was talking shit about people and making stuff up and being a little beta for his wife or fiance he's been engaged to for 5 fucking years.
Yeah.
You should see the victory he's declaring all over Twitter and shit, and videos that people are making about it, going, oh, he demolished the lawyer, he took control of that deposition. And it just reminded me of we talk about it a lot, right, guys? Anything can be spun in any way. There's no such thing as a true mic drop in the social media realm. Like, wow, that shut that person up. Nothing ever shuts anybody up. They can always just say, ignore it and then move on as if nothing happened, or spin the event to actually be a victory when they ended up looking like an ass in reality, you know? And they've always got supporters to go, damn right, Ron, you gave him hell. And it's like, no, man, you look like an asshole for 3 hours straight and you know it.
Real quick, Dark Shade, thank you so much. Hey, Monkey and Monkey's D team, and James Colley, who says, Scribble's far from Twitter and home.
Oh.
So this guy's actually playing it up like he walked away. Didn't Nick Rekieta like just rip him for 3 hours straight?
Oh, it was brutal. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen, like, Nick Rekieta is like, oh, he's a good guy with quips and funny, but he's in rare form for these depositions. I mean, he's throwing out hot comments like you wouldn't believe. There's some really, really funny shit in there. With the, like, off the top of his head, and he's drinking, so he's getting extra saucy with it. You know, he's like, you want to depose me now too? Well, it's going to be really hard to schedule my time because, you know, I have 5 kids, all of them under 8, and they're all involved in activities. And I'm involved in all of their activities. Maybe your father wasn't there for you, but I'm there for them.
Did you have anything else?
No, that's what I've been doing in terms of like Funkatry Online, is just following the fallout from all of this deposition business that's going on with this case.
Satsu, any humpetry today? Satsu? I saw he unmuted himself. Okay.
Maybe he denied squishy sex and we'll never hear from him again.
That's too bad. This is the first time I haven't been able to stream with Satsu, and he just kind of fell out.
I know, right?
Fuck.
Let's see. What did I have today? I know there was a couple. Oh, Kamala Harris tweeted this out. Women's access to reproductive health is under attack. We've seen it in Alabama, where the legislature passed a law to incarcerate a physician for up to 99 years. I am not being dramatic. Women will die because of these policies.
Okay.
To quote myself, quickly, we need to teach women about birth control and abstinence so they don't die from these policies. Corey, thank you. What's the difference between a bench and a black man? One can support a family of 4. Oh, but not the bench, right? Gotcha. Yeah, just like that. I'm not being dramatic. Women are going to die. Like, oh, for fuck's sake, lady. For fuck's sake. I'm not even saying that, you know, that the policies are right. By all means, challenge them if you want to. Blah, blah, blah. But I'm not being dramatic. Women are going to die. Shut up.
You know, Jill Brand's comment, the white privilege thing, right? And speaking so condescendingly to the person. See, what you don't understand is, it's like, oh, great move, professional politician. In other words, complete fucking fail. Politicians are supposed to be slick. You're supposed to answer the question in such a way as that you don't talk down to the person who just asked it. That reminded me of when Bernie Sanders was saying, yes, your business with 50 people will be crushed under my new healthcare regime. What's your point? Like, you know, just that's brutal for anyone who owns a small business in terms of your viability. And Kamala Harris saying this, like, taking this really hard position, women are going to die. The out of touch comment that keeps coming at the Democrats, at least from Republican supporting sides and independents, they are forever seeming more out of touch to me. Don't they realize how badly this stuff is going to play on a national stage? You want swingers to vote for, like, swing voters to actually be swayed by this crap? They're going to be swayed away from you. This is...
Just wait. We'll get there. I have more. Thank you, James Colley, who deleted his message, and I can't remember what it said, but thank you so much, sir. This is something Alyssa Milano tweeted out today. I'm just going to put it in there so you guys can look at it. Oh, and James Colley says, sounds better than amending the 19th. Thank you again. That was the same. I appreciate it. Do you see that picture?
You could describe it for people who are listening in the car, Monkey.
It's 2 pictures, one on top of the other. The top one is German generals visiting a prisoner of war camp.
Nice.
And then down below is a picture of Mike Pence visiting a detention center. Yeah, because they're the same thing, y'all. Now, one of the reasons I wanted to bring that up is not just that. Where's that video? Okay, I'm going to throw this one into chat for you guys. This is from Stance Grounded. This is what he tweeted out earlier, and there's a video attached to it, but this is what he said. 384 men sleeping inside fences on concrete with no pillows or mats. They said they hadn't showered for weeks. Many hadn't for 10 to 20 days. Wanted toothbrushes and food. Stench was overwhelming. Josh Dowsey. I don't know who Josh is. This is not okay. These are human beings. Our brothers. Retweet. Now, if you watch this video, there's a couple of things that are very, very apparent. One, these people aren't dirty. They're not dirty. They're not greasy. Their clothes aren't dirty. And even more interestingly, for people who aren't being allowed to use the bathroom, for shaving and such, or for bathing and stuff, they're able to shave. They have very nicely manicured beards and shit. It's amazing. But apparently we just can't get them any showers. And somehow they're still staying clean without the shower. So this is the kind of stuff. And then like with the raising of the Mexican flag at that detention center today, this stuff is just, it's getting stupid to exactly what you're saying there, Polly. The center is not going to come to them over this stuff. They're going to look at it and go, what the fuck are you talking about? We can see. Sure, that's not in smell-o-vision, but how are you going to convince me that the maybe 40 or so men that we can see standing at this fence, who are quite obviously very clean, haven't been able to bathe in at least 10 days?
The nonstop hyperbole is going to wear thin, especially on a national campaign, because that hasn't started yet. And it's a long slog, that national campaign. Remember how long Hillary Trump was? Jesus. Felt like it went on forever. Yeah, wait till these two are going back and forth at it, whoever the DNC nominee is going to be. And continue on with the white privilege thing in like largely white majority states over and over again. See how well that works for you. This is not going to go well. And let's retweet Alyssa Milano talking about like concentration camps. You know what's not awaiting those Mexicans? Zyklon B.
Indeed. And you know what the allies who were captured there didn't do? Walk in willingly.
Good call.
I got two more I want to get through real quick. Satsu, are you back? Okay. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has finally found somebody to back her up on the idea that Nancy Pelosi is racist. Unfortunately, it wasn't a congressman. It's BuzzFeed.
The best of all backers. Excellent.
Yes, it's just nuts. Progressive activists have had it with House Democrats fight with AOC and other women of color. They're not just 4 votes for many of us. They're the physical manifestation of generations of blood, sweat, and tears for representation in Congress. Because until AOC and the other 3, there were no people of color in Congress. Shut up, you morons. But what really made me like this one is Stephen Miller. I don't know if you guys know him or follow him, but he tweeted out, AOC, I wasn't insinuating Pelosi was racist. BuzzFeed. Leroy Jenkins. Yeah. BuzzFeed just went all in. And then the final one I had, this one was actually kind of weird. It's a quote, or it's a tweet thread. I'm going to read the whole thing real quick. Thank you, Jedi Ghost Bear. Guilt tripping is only going to work for so long. Yeah, it runs out real fast. This is a guy named Nicholas Ferroni. What does he do? He's got a blue check mark. It says, as a kid, I wanted to be a superhero, psychologist, philanthropist, philosopher, actor, and comedian. So I became a teacher. Okay. This is what our teacher said. Social experiment. If you come across this tweet, reply with the grade you were in when you had your first non-white teacher. I had non-white teachers and coaches, mentors. Sorry, let me stop. I had non-white coaches and mentors as early as 8 and through high school. But my first non-white educator was my sophomore college professor. It is so important that non-white children have teachers that look like them, and it is equally as important that white children have teachers who do not look like them. And my question is simply this. This man made it all the way into second year of college before he had his first POC teacher. What does he think would change about his life if that teacher had been his third grade English teacher? Would he be in college sooner? I don't understand what the point is.
Apparently, to one degree or another, he's hoping for segregation in education. It's important for POC students to have teachers that look like that. Like, whoa, buddy, you just asked for segregated classrooms. You realize that, right?
Well, that's not how they ever say it.
Well, of course not. But I mean, that's walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, etc.
Yeah. By the way, my first one was in kindergarten.
Mine was in like first, second grade. I remember clearly. Yeah, she was really mean.
Perkins. I remember her name. She was my best friend's mom.
It's still like, okay, so you grew up in white bread where? Like, I don't know. This is more of a description about the diversity sheltered existence that you had. Go fuck yourself.
Well, he made it all the way through and through his education to at least his sophomore year of college without any problems. So what's the problem?
Yeah, did you develop some kind of racism? You seem like an extremely progressive guy in your adulthood. I don't understand. What's the issue?
That must have been one very good teacher in his sophomore year of college to reverse all that racism he learned.
Turn around all that privilege.
What were you going to say there, Satsu?
Nothing. I was just letting you guys know I'm back. That is an interesting story you guys are talking about there, though. So what's up with this dude?
He's saying, okay, he's suggesting that it's really important for non-white children to have teachers that look like them and for white kids to have teachers who don't look like them. Basically, he's saying we need diversity in teaching, which I don't necessarily disagree with. I don't think there's a positive or a negative to it. Because I've had both good and bad white and black teachers. You know what mattered to me if they were a good teacher. Like one of my favorite. Go ahead.
I wonder if he applies that to like everything in his life. Like right now,
right
when he was picking a house to live in, he was just like, "How many Negroes are over here?" And they were just like, "I don't think there's any." "Oh no, we can't live over here. It is very important that we have just as many dark neighbors as we do light ones."
Right.
We just like is that something you do in your whole life, or you went to the mechanic last week to get your car fixed and something else happened to it, and you're just like, "Last time I had a white dude. You got any darkies in there?"
How many black mechanics work here? Oh,
yeah, because
I gotta go
it's really important that I have some diversity in the repairing of my car, just in case.
You realize
what
that
kind of
also
chefs you got back there?
By this guy's reasoning, Satsu, you would not be able to learn very well in a class that I was teaching. You see,
I guess.
He's white.
Yeah, that skin tone would just like fuck the whole situation right up, man.
This to me is it's one of those things that is just asinine, because the problem here is not whether the teachers are white or black. It's whether the kids are getting good teachers. That's what matters. White, black, Asian, Spanish, I don't care. Good teachers. That's what matters.
Somebody should present the question to him. Like, because I think you asked a very valid question. Like, okay, well, in light of the fact that you said that and you waited all the way up, or you had to, wait all the way up until that point to finally get a black teacher, what is the issue that you see with yourself? The problem that you have having not had a black teacher all the way up until that point, or a teacher of color. Like, what do you regret? What's your regrets? What's your faults that you have right now that you've developed over not having a dark-skinned teacher? I'd like to know them.
Yeah, he didn't answer me, so Okay, that does it for me. Did you have any fucketry there? Oh, real quick. James Colley, thank you. Polly, the smoking jacket would throw a lot of people. Yeah. Do you wear that when you teach?
Of course.
Okay. Satsu, do you have any humpetry? Oh, wait. I missed a super chat. Oh, I'm so sorry, Satsu. I cut you off there again.
No problem.
Tyrai, thank you. These people hate America so much, but they love the laws that are beneficial to their freedom of speech. Make up your minds. If you hate America, go move to London. They will welcome that speech there. Yeah, they will. Okay, and now I'm sorry.
Now you're sorry? Oh,
You know what I meant, damn it.
I don't know. I only know what you tell me, Monkey.
I I commented on the Scarlett Johansson thing with the very obvious comment of it is literally her job to play people she's not. Like this statement is definitively true and like not debatable at all. Like even if you want to read between the lines and try to assume she's saying I want to play black people, like some people were saying. Just being stupid. I'm like, that's her job. That is her job description, to play people she is not, and she should be able to play as long as she fits the role, and meets all the requirements necessary for said role. Whoever the fuck she wants, doesn't matter. But no, we're missing the plot, guys. We just don't understand. There's
I will not deny I do not understand. Because it's absolutely stupid to me.
Yeah, that was a lot of people did hashtag hate facts. Also commented on the AOC getting fucking wrecked in the courtroom by that dude, and we had a conversation about that point. But I was actually talking to some people about it over on Facebook because they're just like, I don't understand how she got wrecked. Like, what happened? Like, did she say anything wrong? And I'm just like, she literally said that the people breaking the law aren't charged with breaking the law. And I'm like, yeah, they're not. They're not charged with anything, but that's because they haven't gotten caught yet. But now that they got caught, they're getting separated. And I couldn't find anybody who could properly explain what the difference is between arresting somebody here who lives here and separating them from their kids and arresting people who are illegally here and separating them from their kids. Like nobody had an actual tangible answer. Most of it was just like, you clearly don't understand what the problem is, or they resorted to like you're endorsing kids being locked up in these what did they call it? Oh, it was some crazy term that I don't think I've ever heard before. Basically, they were just saying that if you don't agree with us, you endorse kids being tortured. Because that's the new one now. They're saying the kids are being tortured there.
Yes,
the kids and women are being tortured. So that's been fun. But other than that,
that was one of the words AOC has been using the last few days. Mm-hmm. She actually used it on her in her testimony. We didn't talk about that yesterday, did we? Where she insisted on being sworn in to testify in front of Congress.
Dude. That scene was just really. They're like, what the fuck? Like, you're not required to do this, but you still want to. And she's like, yes. And the dude's like, okay, bitch, I guess. Like, what the fuck?
Elijah Cummings up there like, you want to be sworn in? She goes, yes. Okay, we don't require Congress people. All right, you're gonna have to stand up. But there's a great part in that. She's giving this impassioned testimony, right? And she can't cry. She's trying her best to make herself cry. She's talking about how all of this is happening under our flag, and she's trying so desperately to cry. And somebody off to the side passed out, so everybody stopped paying attention to her for a second, and they had to stop the proceedings. And then when they came back, she couldn't even get back into it, so she didn't even try. It was funny as shit. She just got undercut. Yeah,
that is hilarious.
Yeah, the only reason she insisted on being sworn in was so she could get that photo op of her testifying before Congress. You're like, shut up, bitch. Do you have anything else?
No, everything else is just your standard run-of-the-mill dumb shit.
Cool. Polly, you back?
I am.
Now, Godfather 3.
Oh, Jesus.
Scribe.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is your position that what's her name? Maria Torvino? What's her name?
Sofia Coppola?
Sofia Coppola. Yeah.
Marina Torvino.
Hey, I'm making up shit as I go.
Is there actually no, I want to see Marina I just want to see if somehow you've accessed an actual memory.
No.
There's a Marina Trevino.
That's who I was thinking of.
No, that's just some random person on Facebook, not a celebrity.
That's who I was thinking of. So Sofia Coppola.
Yes.
Bad actress in that movie.
Yes.
Polly.
Mm-hmm.
Same one. The Coppola, not Trevino.
Lee Trevino.
Unsung hero of the movie. What was your position?
Whoa, that's a little far. Misunderstood an overall effect, as is the movie.
So, but here's the problem, Paulie. You're saying that her performance was an accurate performance for her character.
Exactly. Yes. The fact that she was such an
Even
actor lends itself to the very character she's playing.
No. To play someone who is uncomfortable and naive, etc., would be an example of good acting. Her not being a good actress is not an asset to her acting ability. I'm sorry, like coming across as like you don't know what the fuck's going on, you can't deliver a line to save your life, and your voice is absolute cardboard. Is not a character trait that she is expressing. She's just a bad actress.
If somebody shows up somewhere, like, okay, we talk about this a lot. People watch films where like that person always plays themselves, right? And sometimes it's awesome, sometimes it's annoying. It's awesome when Jack Nicholson does it. It's annoying when Will Smith does it. Okay, sometimes it fits the role. I mean, Will Smith is never acting; he's just being fucking Will Smith.
Oh no,
yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, like can it not still be a credit to the film, even though the person isn't stretching beyond their natural self?
I will not argue that Sofia Coppola is playing herself. She is decidedly playing the director's daughter. You will not get me to argue elsewise. You're absolutely right. She is playing the result of absolute and total nepotism. Family versus talent. You're correct.
Ouch. Well, I would say that she's not playing the director's daughter, considering that there are not many fathers out there that would be willing to direct a scene where suave ass Andy Garcia's feeling her up and then puts her up on the counter and starts making out with her and feeling up on her titties and shit. There's not a lot of fathers would be willing to do that. So the idea that she's playing her father's daughter at that moment, no, I don't buy it. I don't, did she get the role out of nepotism? Yeah, Hollywood is based upon nepotism in the casting couch. What's your point?
Wait, you're saying her father took her to the casting couch?
No, I'm saying it's based on nepotism and the casting couch. Hollywood is. I didn't say this specific film only. I mean, like Michael Corleone.
It's like, well, honey, if you want to be in this movie, there's the couch.
And there's nothing new about Coppola doing that, particularly. After all, Michael Corleone's sister is played by Francis Ford Coppola's sister. So, I mean, there's nothing new about this.
Yeah, no, look, I understand that nepotism is not new. I mean, David Mamet kept putting his wife Rebecca Pidgeon in all his movies, even though she is a very, very borderline actress, depending on the situation. But she knows how to agree dialogue. But Sofia Coppola, no, I'm sorry, she's not the caliber of actress you put into a Godfather movie. I don't know. I can't read his mind. I don't know why exactly he did it or why you think it'd be a good idea or elsewise. But no, I'm sorry. Next to the entire cast, you put a rank amateur to go up against Al Pacino, Andy Garcia, all these other guys. No, I'm sorry. She was the worst part of that. She was the worst part of that movie. A movie that has a whole slew of other weaknesses, let alone the fact that it was a completely unnecessary sequel and didn't really comfortably resolve much of anything that the first two movies didn't do excellently by itself. But yeah, I mean,
allow me to retort. See, I think that this is one of the central misunderstandings of the film. Something you stated just there, an unnecessary sequel. Well, that's precisely the issue. It wasn't intended as a sequel. It was intended as an epilogue. As a matter of fact, both Coppola and Mario
Puzo
Puzo, thank you, both wanted to call the film The Death of Michael Corleone. It was the studio who insisted that they call it Godfather 3 for marketing and promotional purposes. It was intended as an epilogue, and that's exactly what it is. It's about the death of Michael Corleone. It's an extension of the storyline. Is there more material there that he wanted to mine? Was Coppola's thing. Have I mined all the emotional material from this work? And his answer was no, because Michael Corleone was never called to deal in any kind of real way with consequences for his actions. His father was, his brother was, but he never was.
You see, and I'm going to take a very philosophical take on this. I think Godfather 3 is a meditation on the futility of stretching out franchises beyond their limits. I think the line, every time I try to get out, they pull me back in. That is a comment on Hollywood, the studio, franchise duplication, trying to give people more of what they want and duplicating the success of the past. The family's trying to legitimize itself by getting it good with the Pope and doing away with all this other stuff, but it can't get away from that. The franchise cannot move on with more sequels. It cannot get better trying to stretch it out forward. And Michael Corleone just weakly falling over in his chair, going out with a whimper rather than a bang. I think it is a statement about how some stories should have died a long time ago.
I find that interesting that, like, you know, of course, I'm certain you recognize the refrain of the way Michael Corleone died, basically in the same way as his father, as an old man out in growing his tomatoes, kind of thing. He died very similarly, and it's a refrain to the end of Godfather 2, where Michael Corleone is sitting alone. And unlike his father, who had family around him, the young boy, Michael Corleone was alone at the end of Godfather 2, and he's alone without his daughter, tragically, at the end of Godfather 3.
Yeah, Godfather 2.
That's deep emotional behavior. You said go out with a bang, but yet you said giving the audience more what they want. The problem that people have with Godfather 3 is precisely that it wasn't a large gangster shoot 'em up film. Where the fuck's the action? Where's the fuck the gangster intrigue? Well, that's because it's supposed to be an epilogue film about the end of this man's life and the way he brought down this family by acting with his head, not his heart.
Now, so I get the theme of the film. I understand the contrast between Don Corleone dying with the future generation of his family that he has groomed his entire life with him at the point of his death, and Michael Corleone being completely alone. No, I get that. I get that part. The idea of Godfather 3 isn't necessarily bad. The execution was jumbled. Certain story and casting choices obviously were questionable, and honestly, I did not believe the ascension of Andy Garcia's character to the point that he was at the end of the movie. He was not introduced in the movie with the same kind of power as Michael Corleone was in the first Godfather, that it made sense of his progression. When people are kissing his ring at the end, he's like the bastard child of Sonny Corleone, who was never mentioned before. Who was sort of retconned into existence. And he never made as much of an impression on me that he would suddenly go from being, oh, hi, hey, it's like, you've never met my friend before, but he's been looking forward to meeting you. The character from fucking Tango and Cash. When this guy suddenly shows up at the beginning of the movie, never heard of before, and then by the end of the movie, not being a direct descendant of Michael Corleone, being this, complete bastard child. Now he's the Don. There's a whole bunch of threads to that thing, but the Michael Corleone arc by itself, if you could just isolate that arc by itself, sort of like if you could take all the best parts of the prequel trilogy, which would be about 15 minutes, and just isolate it by itself and get rid of all the other stuff, you'd have a very compelling story arc. But you don't. You pad it with a whole bunch of unnecessary and badly executed crap. And so, yeah. Anyway.
Okay, gentlemen, I got a couple of super chats and we got to get into chat time here. Cryptic, thank you, says cat fight. I think I got them all. James Colley says Coppola cast his daughter because she was the original child in the first movie. So in the third movie, she was brought back.
Yeah,
well,
she was in the first movie as a baby, Scribe. I mean, it's not the first time he did it.
She had just as much acting ability when she was 23.
You say if she can act, that's fine to bring her back. Johnny Hellcat, thank you. Everyone knows Academy Award nominee Antonio Garza. I mean, come on. Who's that?
Antonio Garza? I don't know who Antonio Garza is. Okay.
Was there anything you wanted to rebut there real fast before we get into chat time? Either one of you.
Go
ahead.
I don't know. I would agree on the point that Andy Garcia's ascension could have been more fleshed out. I think that there are definitely scenes in there where they try and make it clear the relationship between like where he is at the beginning of the film, which is like they're aware of him. They know who, Vincent is. It's like, okay, well, he was never mentioned before. Well, I don't know. Would you rather have them taken a bit character and just like installed him out of nowhere? The idea that he's the bastard son of Sonny, I don't know. That kind of makes sense that he hasn't been around the family that much. I disagree with you that like the retconning. I don't know. They brought it back. Even the same actress that he was banging at the wedding, Sonny was banging at the wedding scene as being the mother.
No,
it made perfect sense.
No, I get that. But if they had done it as he was a known part of the universe prior to the film, okay, rather than just suddenly coming in out of the blue. And I mean, yeah, we knew who he was, kind of thing. Now, if he'd already been part of somebody's crew or been part of the family, but just sort of like the black sheep, and he was referred to as such without just like out of the. It's just like I say. If this is supposed to be, how Michael Corleone falls, but the rot still continues, Andy Garcia's character was his arc had to make sense for the B plot of the movie to hold together, and it doesn't. So it doesn't, and that's one of the problems with Godfather 3 for me.
Okay, Johnny says that he was making fun of my random name. I made fun of the random name chosen by Monkey. Look.
Marina Trevino. Whoever the fuck that is. There is no Marina Trevino, at least not on IMDb that I know of.
She was a great actress. She's an unsung hero of The Godfather 4. Let's see, what do we have going on here? You're eating up chat time. Yes. Wasn't Sofia Coppola in Godfather 2? Not that I'm aware of.
No, she played the baby version of the daughter somewhere in there. It was either 1 or 2, but yeah, she was a baby.
It was in 1. It was at the baptism scene.
That's right. Yes, that's what it was.
And it was supposed to be Michael's nephew.
Yeah.
And hilarious. They were actually performing the in Latin prayer ritual is for a male child, but it's a daughter. Yeah. I remember that from Coppola's director's commentary over the DVD.
Yeah, and as to eating into chat time, guys, I have this dream of getting Dax and Scribe and Jack and Polly all together to discuss movies sometime. Because it would just be a giant nerd fest that went places you guys would be like, what the fuck are they even talking about? Because these guys know movies and get into them in ways. I always considered myself a movie buff until I met these people. And it was like, oof, I don't know shit. Anyhow, so let's move on. Let's not mix business with pleasure. Also, isn't Scribe the dominant here? I don't know what the mixing business with pleasure spot is, but yes, he is the dom.
Mm-hmm.
Which presidential candidate will you vote for in 2020? Any Democrat primary candidate that has dropped out counts. I will be voting for my wife, most likely. Do you guys know who you're voting for? Do you feel like saying? Okay.
Well, I mean, I will vote for someone if they convince me that they're worthy of my vote. The way things are looking right now, I'm probably going to bow out of the next presidential election just like I did the last one.
Polly, Satsu, either of you?
I'm voting for Obama.
There you go. Polly, you want to?
Yeah, I very well might down ballot vote again. I don't know. The one criticism of Donald Trump's White House that is actually accurate is the kind of disarray and lack of bureaucratic experience that they're willing to avail themselves to. Just a general lack of professionalism. It's like, come on, guys, why don't you bring in some people who know what they're fucking doing? Like in terms of like drafting stuff, procedural application, things like that.
Just look what happened with the census. That was all because of how they did it. Not what they did, how they did it. There was nothing illegal about putting that question on there, but the way that they went about it. And this isn't the first time that's happened to them. There was another, was it DACA that they got hit with that same fucking thing for? You just follow procedures, and none of them seem to know what the fucking procedures are. James Colley, thank you. Scribe's a dom, however, Polly is a don. Hashtag Polly Don. That's true.
Hell yeah.
Actually, he's Polly Dad. Lords of the Night, regarding last night, is Scribe a heathen for putting ketchup on a hot dog? No, ketchup on a hot dog is wonderful.
What?
No, it's
How am
not.
I honestly don't understand how that makes me a heathen.
Clearly, he's denied Christ by putting ketchup on his hot dog.
Yeah, it's true. You know, when I put ketchup on that hot dog, that ain't kosher.
You know what?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Look, I know there's a lot of food purists out there or whatever, but when I heard that they were hot dog purists, I was just like, okay. I feel like we've gone too far here.
It's the scraps off the floor shoved into a sausage casing. It's a hot dog. Put whatever on it you want to.
Like how Satsu cooks on that video game.
Yes.
Oh, look, the floor food that comes from my restaurant is world fucking famous. So I would.
Yeah, it tastes just like Pine Sol.
No, I don't use Pine Sol. I use Lysol.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Lord Tonight, when will Polly invite Satsu to come on Comic Book Curation for his Magna? How do you say it? Magna, the Magna Carta? / anime prowess.
Do you guys
read
dabble in
manga?
the mangas? I mean, not a lot, not enough to really have. Like I've read some recent stuff, but yeah, I don't know if I have if I possess enough knowledge to like carry a conversation, unless it's about a specific one that I've read.
I mean, those guys are the weebs, but I've been down to read some early graphic novel or manga, if you will, stuff that has been later turned into animated stuff that I dug. Like, I don't know, was Ghost in the Shell ever based on something original, or was that an original script too?
No, wasn't it?
I don't know. If there's an original manga to it, I would certainly like to read it. I'm a big fan of the Ghost in the Shell storyline. It's really interesting. I mean, it's a huge ripoff from Blade Runner, but whatever. It's still cool.
I have no clue what any of this nerdy shit is.
You were on that nerdy show, man. What the fuck are you talking about?
No, I said nerdy shit. I have my own nerdy shit. Look, I'm not when I say nerdy shit, I'm not saying that as an insult. I am recognizing that it is nerdy and that I have my own nerdy shit that I could talk about, and Satsu would be like, what the fuck is this man talking about?
Man, Scarlett Johansson takes a lot.
You mean talking about anything that occurred before 1995, you mean?
Well, that too. Any of you heard of the Banana Splits? Just saw the trailer for the movie they've made of it, a horror movie version of it. Any of you willing to see it? What?
Yeah, so whoever owned the rights to the Banana Splits decided to take the property and the idea and take it into a Five Nights at Freddy's kind of situation or something. God. So it's this, I don't even know, it's like a mashup. It's like the complete collision of two entirely different genres, a kid's goofy costume show and a horror movie. I don't know that I have any interest in seeing it at all, because I remember the Banana Splits. It was just this goofy kids show or something for people who were high on LSD to watch when they were home from a party or something. But a horror movie? First off, most people aren't going to know who the fuck the Banana Splits are. And the contrast between the goofiness of the characters and the horror will probably be interesting to people, but I don't know why they made this movie except maybe to retain the rights or something.
I don't know, like the lore alone, because I don't play Five Nights at Freddy's. Like I've only played one of them, and it's fine as a game or whatever. But the lore was fascinating as fuck to me, and it's got me like hooked on that type of horror. So I'd be very interested in seeing that movie.
No, I have no interest in seeing that. Polly, you want to see that? Banana
yeah, I
Split
know what you're talking about. So probably not, but not for any reason other than I don't know what you're talking about.
Damn youngins. Does Polly like crackers? Asks Attack Alpaca.
Oh, that's a fresh joke. Cool. I do like crackers. I don't know if you should be drawing any particular conclusions.
He also is a cracker.
But yeah, that too. God damn, man. I didn't know we were going to get all racial and shit. All right.
Polydub, what's your favorite horror movie / comic?
Horror movie or comic?
And or comic, yeah.
My favorite horror movie, I'm not a big fan of the horror genre. I just generally don't dig it. But when I saw Halloween 78, I got it. That was when I was on my big run of watching big movies I've heard about forever but have never seen, like a couple years ago. And Halloween 78 was in there. And man, I got it. When I watched that, I was like, nice tension. It wasn't a period film. It was just of the time. But to me, it's a fucking late 70s period film. You know what I mean? I love the clothes and the look of it, everything, and the cars and the terribly rolled joints they were smoking. It was awesome. Great horror film. Great tension.
Wait, those weren't real joints?
They very well might have been, but they were still horribly rolled.
I thought that's how all joints look. I get all my do you like any horror comics?
Not any that I can think of off the top of my head.
Besides the Spider-Man clone saga?
Yeah. No, I would say not. I mean, there come to be some horror like in terms of like murder mystery aspects of some of the detective noir comics that I read, but no, like supernatural serial killer stuff. Nope. I can't think of it.
The original 30 Days of Night, I'd recommend.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was a good movie.
Well, no,
wait, the original.
The comic book. The comic book, I mean.
Oh, okay.
Monkey, would you want a former NASCAR driver to be president? I don't know.
Is there a former NASCAR driver running for president?
I don't know.
Oh.
Scribe and Polly, has there ever been a movie or TV show with a plot so convenient it broke your suspension of disbelief?
Ooh, great question. Hold on, let me think. Because I know it's happened. I'm like, oh, come on. I'm just gonna have to place.
I can give you one.
Sure, shoot.
Season 2 of Breaking Bad.
Never seen it. I've been recommended to it a million times, but I've never seen it. Plot that's so convenient that it broke my. Any of the films that I love David Mamet's dialogue. I'm a massive fan, but any of the films that he wrote and directed, the plot falls forward like a Rube Goldberg machine. It's just, it's awful. Everything is just a convenience after convenience after convenience. You know, no.
Such as, I'm not familiar.
Spanish Prisoner. It's awful.
Spanish Prisoner, yeah.
That's Val Kilmer's one, right?
No, Spanish Prisoner is Steve Martin, and
Steve Martin.
So Spartan is Val Kilmer's movie with David Mamet.
Right, him as the ultra special, super special officer agent, deep
security
guy.
Spartan's a great movie because even though the progression of events is a little too convenient, if you watch that movie with Val Kilmer's commentary on, it is an entirely different movie and turns into the most hilarious comedy. Listening to Val Kilmer narrate the whole thing, it's funny.
I remember you saying that before, and I never had a chance to go back.
It's great.
Do it that way.
Totally different movie. Val Kilmer changes everything, and I'm laughing my ass off the whole time.
Mr. Monopoly really wants us to know that it was Michael's son baptized. Yes, we know.
Yeah. Okay.
We have lots of people talking about what they eat on their hot dogs. And some of them who are like, this is the only way to eat it. Look, there's several ways to eat a hot dog. Let me just throw it out there again. Uncooked with ranch dressing. It is wonderful.
No, it's not.
Wonderful. No. Corey says, didn't Ronald Reagan call the hot dog a square meal? I don't remember if he did. I know there was a lot of talk at that time about ketchup being a vegetable.
Look here.
So I don't know.
I love cooking. I cook all the time or whatever. But when it comes to these kitchen wars and shit, my philosophy is whatever you cooked in your kitchen and put in your mouth is the way it's done. That's the way it's done. You did it correctly. If you ate it and you liked it, you did it right.
Thank you, Bearcock. Polydub and Scrub A team right here. I think he meant he's calling you Scrub Scribe.
No, I'm just a scrub. That's all right. Thanks.
Hey, look, Deku scrubs were very important in one of the Zelda games.
That's true.
Oh, that raises my spirits. Thank you.
Good.
Polly, vampires or werewolves?
I'm assuming in terms of interest, I'd probably say vampires.
Toasted wants to know why people hate Jar Jar Binks. Did you see that movie?
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
It's a truth that's self-evident.
I feel bad for the actor that, like, you know, he got sent into the depths of depression over people's reaction to the character, but the character as written, as executed, was just an absolute waste of time.
I don't blame the actor for that character. I blame whoever wrote it.
Okay.
George
Lucas.
Monkey, I think I know what we're giving away tonight.
What are we giving away?
It's called Sin VR, the Dragon MILF.
What?
Um,
Is this on Steam?
It's on Steam, yeah.
What's it called?
Sin VR, the Dragon MILF.
I just want to know what this looks like. I don't have a VR setup, so it doesn't matter to me. But
Sinatra asked when he's getting invited on to talk about Dragon Ball. Are we doing a homosexual related stream?
Oh, damn.
I remember I had offered
what the
Sinatra a chance to come on. I said, hey man, if you want to, it'd be great to have you come on Comic Book Curation. We can talk about like Dragon Ball and shit. You could be that guy. And he's like, yeah, I'm down. Now I think like after the no show that I pulled the other day for Ghost Poo, I got a feeling he's going to say yes and then just not show, to like just stick it to me and go, yeah, motherfucker, that's what it feels like. I don't know.
You're worried about retribution.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get some vengeance right between the ribs from him one time.
Hey,
Guys, I'm sorry, my chat keeps jumping. What was that, Scribe? I'm sorry.
sorry, Satsu, just so you know, that's a DLC for a core game.
What's the core game?
The core game is just called Sin VR. Now, that game is free to play, apparently, but this is some kind of like
Oh,
game.
so Dragon MILF is just an option.
Yeah, she's one option. She's basically what's her name from Game of Thrones, the blonde chick,
Oh.
and you get to fuck her. And now I'll just warn, you know, this is like a X-rated game, and unless you know the age of the person you're giving it to, I just be wary of that. That's all.
Red Castry asked Polydub, would you be willing to have a discussion with Mahler about why you dislike Homecoming, as long as your dislike isn't based only on movie Spider-Man, isn't comic Spider-Man? There are so many more problems than just him not being comic Spider-Man.
You have no idea. That's why it's, you know, okay. Homecoming, I like a hell of a lot more than Far From Good. That's a hell of a lot more. Like at least a couple orders of magnitude. I mean, yeah, Far From Good is just like, it is really, really bad. Like, I mean, it's on the level of like I described. It's Saved by the Bell, the MCU film. Hey, we're some fun kids and we're referencing things that kids do, social media, and we're streaming, and don't be ghosting me. And like, oh God, and emojis all over the place, and just fuck.
Oh God. Okay, this has to be the hottest take on the Scarlett Johansson thing.
Uh-oh.
She said, this is the quote, I should be able to play any person, tree, or animal, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
This person said Scarlett Johansson was asked about giving up her position in a trans role and immediately jumped to comparing playing different genders and identities to animals and trees.
Oh,
Nice.
fuck.
Oh God.
That's on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
See, monkey, see what I'm talking about?
Look, leave my garbage fire alone. I love it. Hayden says, Monkey, did you see the video that Scribe posted of Representative Garcia accusing Homan of not caring about the kids that don't look like him? That was disgusting, and Homan rightfully exploded on him. I haven't seen the video of that.
Amazing.
I read about Homan was going off on everybody in that hearing. He was not backing down from anybody.
They were treating him like shit. I mean, the AOC one I saw first, and I thought, oh, what a moron. But when I saw the follow-up, where he's like talking about, you don't care about these kids, they don't look like your kids. I mean, even before Homan opened his mouth to respond to that, I was like, the fuck? He says, have you ever held a dead child in your arms? And I'm thinking to myself, oh, isn't it going to be funny when he tells you that he has?
Mm-hmm.
Ass, and then of course he does, and it's just like, fuck.
Yeah, he was a cop, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
In New York.
Yeah.
No, he never ran across any dead things. Dumbass. Okay, where are we at? Sorry, guys, everything is jumping. I'm doing my best to get back to where we were. Any of you remember the TV movie from the early 70s, The Banana Splits in Hocus Pocus Park? No.
No, I don't remember that. I remember the Banana Splits. I don't remember specifically that. There is a TV movie. I'll ask this real quick. There's a TV movie that I saw as a kid, and I can't remember what it's called, and I can't find any reference to it. And I only vaguely remember the plot. It had something to do, it went to the effect of, it was like an ABC weekly movie kind of thing, okay? And the plot had something to do with the idea that there was this guy, and he was dying. And the spirits of, and I could be off on the list here, but something to the effect of Zorro and Robin Hood or something basically resurrect this guy, and he turns into this sort of like quasi superhero to save the day kind of thing. I've searched around off and on over the years to try to figure out what this was called and where it was. I think it was an ABC night or weekly movie or something, and that's the plot, generally speaking. I wish I knew more information. On the off chance anybody has any idea, please tweet me. I'm just curious.
God, everything keeps jumping. Donkey Girl versus Cheese Girl. Who would win? Who's Cheese Girl?
I don't know. Mr. Monopoly is asking me, may I please mirror all of your TED Talk videos? I'm not going to stop you. I mean, I more appreciate people sort of directing people just to my channel and the videos themselves, because, you know, mirroring it doesn't do anything for my channel, but necessarily. But I mean, as long as you give me credit and link back to it, I'm not going to have too much of a problem.
Yeah, and I see that in there. No, you may not mirror all of my videos.
No, not all of my videos. If there's one or two that you like, no, I don't want anybody duplicating my channel. Thank you very much. And if you see anybody doing that, let me know. I can't really necessarily do anything about it per se, but I might try to do something about it.
I've done stuff about it before. I had somebody completely fucking steal my channel once.
Yeah.
In regards to crackers and Polly's smoking jacket, what flavor of caviar does Polly like to put on said crackers?
What type of caviar?
Yes, on your crackers.
Well, I'm a pretty low class guy when it comes to, I had beluga caviar at one point. I do not recall it specifically. I do like the saltiness of fish roe. I certainly understand that all roe is not caviar. That's all I got to offer on the matter. So cheap, the cheap kind, because the expensive kind would be lost on me. How about that?
Polly likes pate, not caviar.
I do like pate, actually. Who doesn't? It's great stuff.
Damn posh motherfuckers.
It's liverwurst.
Right. I found out my older brother has never heard of Vincent Price. Don't you think it's kind of sad people are forgetting the greats?
Yep, that is sad. Introduce him.
Well, it's a weird time to be alive, because I mean, we're only getting now to the part where you're losing all of these people who were so prolific in film and stuff. I mean, you had a few, you Cary Grants, this kind of, just a couple of people, but we're getting to the point where we're losing people who did all kinds of stuff because movies had progressed to that point. It's just going to get worse, and that's just how it works. I mean, history is made of people we forget.
Oh, but man, I've met people that don't even know the name Humphrey Bogart. I've met these people.
But thankfully, access to and references of their work are a hell of a lot more accessible now than they would have been 20, 30 years ago.
Indeed.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Nothing for you here says, I know how hot dogs are made, and I still eat them raw, ranting monkey. It's deliciously disgusting. I agree. I don't give a damn. Polly, aren't we all nerds?
Probably. Very likely. But not all of us are filthy weebs. It's different.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm
kidding. I'm kidding. It's
Polly, how many nuns have you punched?
I'm going to take the fifth on that one.
It's a reference to Polly's freak out the other night. What was that 2 nights ago? Y'all should watch that when he first came on. And
somebody DM'd me a list of the things I said.
Did you not remember what you said?
Oh, I had forgotten some of them. I mean, I remember saying I wanted to skip a puppy across a lake top, and but I'd forgot talking about the condor egg omelets and strangling the last dodo on Earth. And yeah. I mean, when I read it, I was like, oh yeah, fuck, what the hell?
You were animated. You probably remembered the puppy one because we referenced it over and over for the rest of the show.
Sure.
The nun one I'd forgot about till somebody reminded us the next day. Yeah, Polly wants to punch nuns,
and strangle an orphan. Actually, was one.
Strangle an orphan is what you said. Yes, indeed. How is Monk's turbulent tusk? It's feels like it went swimming today. When will Lady Monkey be a guest again? I'm not sure. Whenever she wants to. She's got an open invitation. She lives right out there in the house. On the other side of that door.
All those things I wanted to do in Minecraft, by the way. In Minecraft.
Yes, in Minecraft. He didn't mean those for real.
Yeah.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, it is the end of the show. It is the top of the hour, and as sad as it is, we got other things to do. So I would like to thank the audience for coming and hanging out with us, for your amazing generosity. Cannot tell you how much I appreciate that. Polly, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us tonight.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It was a good time.
Don't forget to check out his channel, guys. And Scribe, Satsu, a pleasure as always. Guys, don't forget to come watch us over on 2 Cents Plus right after this. Killing Zombies in the 7 Days to Die with me, Satsu, and Sinatra. Be a good time. Come check us out. Everyone, your lives make us sad. We'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Have a good night, everyone.
Fuck off.